Insult on insult. How about that one? A nut with a nuke. That's President Trump. Extraordinary stuff. The mainstream media there slamming left, right and sideways the language that President Trump has used against North Korea. Ollie North is with us. I'm sure he's got something to say about this. I'm astonished that at a time of maximum international crisis, they describe our president as a nut with a nuke. I'm appalled at this, and I'm sure you are too.
I could not be more so. The fact is, try to imagine this. After the collapse at Dunkirk, the movie's out, and by the way, it's a good movie. After the collapse at Dunkirk, Prime Minister Winston Churchill tells the world, we will fight on the beaches, we'll fight on the streets, we'll fight in the forest, we'll fight in the hills. And by the way, if they're here and you're about to die, take one of them with you.
Yeah, he did say that.
Just imagine if he hadn't said that, what the morale of the people would be. I think it would be grossly irresponsible for any president facing what this president is confronting right now with North Korea. For the very first time, if we can believe our intelligence services, the North Koreans have nuclear weapons, plural, and the ability to deliver them right where you're sitting and right where I am. And for the president not to warn the adversary, don't do it, in the harshest possible terms, would be irresponsible at best. I'm stunned.
I've tried to sum up the president's policy with the following expression. I want to see if I've got this right. The president is doing this, showing the North Koreans that we can take them down and convincing them that we will do it. I think, in a nutshell, that's what the president's position is. I think it's the right position. What say you?
Well, look, I'd modify that a little bit because I'm not entirely sure getting the attention of Kim Jong-un is going to be effective at all. I don't necessarily think he has the same survival instincts as perhaps Khrushchev back in 1962. The idea of mutually shared destruction was you knew that the other side wanted to survive. I don't have that confidence about those who run the business in Pyongyang or in Tehran, quite frankly. I think what this president has to do, our president, he's got to convince President Xi that we are going to use military force. It will be catastrophic for him because they'll end up with millions of Korean refugees, and it will be catastrophic to their economy because everything's going to come to a screeching halt. The United States doesn't need to use nuclear weapons to make this happen. We could shut off the communications in North Korea in a lightning bolt, and they would have to use carrier pigeons to launch their missiles. I mean, the idea that I'm advocating is that we need to take steps, the United States, that convinces Xi he has got to stop it. He's got the only leverage in this thing. We have none.
Okay.
If the other side isn't afraid of us, Xi is the guy. And what I recommend is that President Trump call Prime Minister Abe and ask him to please get on his airplane, fly to Beijing, look Xi in the eye and say, President Xi, you can be the hero that walks us back from the brink. Get on your plane, go to Pyongyang, and pull the plug on the little tin-horn dictator in Pyongyang.
I think Susan Rice, former National Security Advisor, got one side of the argument where she said, we, America, can live with a nuclear North Korea if we have to. That's one side. That's the appeasement side, in my opinion. The other side is take a firm stand and mean it. That's where the argument is at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, in fact, she's dead wrong. And of course, we're in this predicament because the administration in which she served allowed all this to happen. This would never have happened except for the so-called Vienna Accord, the deal done with Tehran. Think about this. In the 18 months since the Vienna Accord went into effect, and we sent billions of dollars back to Tehran, North Korea has conducted more nuclear and ICBM tests in that period of time than they did in the previous 20 years. Where did they get the money? I mean, grass is a vegetable, for crying out loud. I mean, think about where that money came from. We sent it to Tehran. Tehran is paying for these tests.